I treat myself with kindness and compassion. hmm Believe it or not, most people don't realize that they're not treating themselves with kindness and compassion. I know I didn't. I was always a person who treated myself badly and didn't know it because it was just the default that I went to. Hi, I'm Talonda. I am here to help you learn how to have a good quality life, uh, have a joyful, happy, peaceful, good, balanced life. And I use my motivational speeches and life experiences to chat with you and to help you find ways that you can create the life that you want and that you deserve. So join me. Please consider liking, subscribing, and please comment so that we can have a good dialogue about these things. So let's get into it. Like I said, my I would say that all up until I was almost 40, I did not treat myself with kindness and compassion. I didn't even know what it meant to do that because I spent my life taking care of everyone else and basically, uh, what's the word? I say that a lot. What's the word? Because I always forget. I know it's in here, but I can't get it out. I spend a lot of time exhausting myself. That's not really exactly the word I'm thinking that I can't say, but I would say something like that to the point where I end up doing way too much, usually for others, and then I have nothing left to take care of myself. And then I wonder why I'm so overwhelmed or burnt out. Um, and I lived my life like that all the time, thinking that I was okay because I was taught that giving and giving and giving to others before you give to yourself is better. Mm, it's not. Not to say that you should live a life being so selfish that you don't care about other people. Not that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that if you are not in a good space yourself, how in the world can you give of anything to anyone else? Your, I would say, your lack of ability to do anything for yourself will make it really hard for you to give to others. So I had to learn that. I was never taught that until I met one of my therapists a few years ago, and she really helped me to understand what it meant to love myself, to be kind to myself, to be compassionate towards myself. Uh, she taught me that I was living my life as a person who always engaged in self-sabotage. I that's just that was my default. That was my go-to. Um, when I would get overwhelmed or get busy, first thing I would do is sabotage myself and then try to be everything for everyone else. And I was miserable, and everybody around me was miserable because I was not in a good place myself. So anything they got from me was just like out of the worst of who I was. They weren't getting my best. They were getting the depleted Talonda, the empty cup needing something to drink and very parched Talonda. What can you give of value to someone like that? Nothing. So I started to learn that, wait a minute, it's kind of important for me to actually care about myself. And not even just for other people. Yes, for other people, your family members, friends, people in your life who need you. That's all good. But just for you and for you to have a good quality of life. It's important to take care of yourself, to be kind to yourself. Start thinking about, wait a minute, what do I like around here? What do I want to do? Forget about everybody else. What what do I even want in this life? I never thought of it until I would say years later. And I went around life, bouncing from one thing to the next. Because I didn't know what I liked until I really did not start to develop an understanding of what I liked and what I wanted for my life until I had to pull away. I had an event that occurred in my life that really set me back physically and mentally and emotionally. And I had to, I was not well at all. And, it's interesting, the people in my life at the time were not supportive of my health. They'd rather have me at my worst. And I noticed that, and it turned me off so badly that I ended up just building a wall and not even really communicating with them because I saw it's like, you don't care about me. You just care about what I could do. Something could happen to me, nobody would really care. They would just replace me, whatever. And I'm talking about a work situation. And so this event that happened in my life that really rocked my whole world, um, gave me perspective. And I was like, oh, these people over here want me to be the worst of myself. They don't care what happens to me, as long as I get my tail back to that job. Whereas over here, these people are like, what about you? Aren't you gonna care about yourself? Aren't you gonna think about what you want? Aren't you gonna consider yourself? And it was hard for me to listen to these people over here. I was too busy trying to listen to these people over here. Why? That's just that's just the way I was taught growing up through something. I wouldn't say my family necessarily taught me that. I come from a really good family, really nice family, loving. They really took good care of me. So I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying we all go through life experiences where something happens or someone we meet or we're in situations where we pick up things. And somewhere, somehow, I picked up on this issue. And unfortunately, it was not good for me, for my life. And so when I started turning away from the ones who didn't really care about me, oh, you should have heard it. And it showed, like I saw their true colors come out in the way they were acting towards me. And I was like, oh my gosh, these people never cared about me in the first place. Because if they really truly did, they wouldn't be just contacting me or calling me for what they want from me. They would say, "Hey, I noticed this happened. I haven't seen you. Are you okay? How are you doing?" None of that. All they cared about was she left us in the lurch. I remember someone said that, and I was just like, that's all you could think about? You don't care one thing about what happened to me. I'm not saying that it was the best situation I put everyone else in, but I was not well myself. I was at a point where if I didn't do something right away, it would have been really bad for me. But all you could care about is the fact that you didn't hear from me. Duh, like alarm bells should have gone off in your head saying something's wrong with her. I mean, I would be crying all the time. I would have, the signs were there, but they didn't care. And to this day, not one of them has contacted me to find out, hey, what happened to you? Not one of them. That's how I knew. Mm-mm. This is not for me. And I moved on with my life after that. And I hope that one of them is watching this video so they can really see and understand how I really felt. Anyway, I guess I just wanted to get that out on here. So getting back to what I was saying, and the point I wanted to make was, um, you have to really take that step and make that decision to take care of yourself because other people are not going to. Some people just don't know. Even your family, not saying you can have a good family, but they just don't know how to treat you because you have not taught them any different, you know? You haven't taught them any other way. All they know is to treat you this way because That's what you always put out there. But once you start stopping and saying, you know what, I'm gonna treat myself better than that. The ones who really care about you will support you. They'll be in your corner. And for me, that was mostly my family, my husband, my sisters, just certain people in my life. I can't name everyone because I don't always remember, but the ones that readily come out of my brain are like basically family members. Those are the ones who stuck with me and did not seem to care or be bothered by the fact that I was actually looking out for myself for a change, even if it wasn't inconvenience for them. You know, I had to learn that even if I'm inconveniencing someone, I have to still focus on looking out for myself. That was hard because as a person who's naturally a people pleaser, all I wanted to do was say, I'm sorry. Mm-mm. Nope. It's about me right now. And that's how you have to be. You have to become a person like that. I'm not saying you disregard people. No. But if you're in a place in your life where it's like it's either you or them, like that job or them folk who bring out the worst in you and who uh don't really look out for your best interest, which one are you going to pick? Which one should you pick? I'd say not going to, because a person who doesn't have a high self-esteem will pick the bad one. Obviously, if you're in the right frame of mind or if you have someone helping you who's in your corner, you're going to pick the right one, the one where you're taking care of yourself regardless of what other people are thinking or saying. And I actually finally decided to do that. And ever since I've been on that path, you can tell me nothing. I've been, working hard and doing great, working really hard on myself. And it's funny because when I do run into situations where I run into people like that again, who give me that feeling like I gotta neglect myself for them, mostly it's jobs for that job or that situation. I'm like, no, pump the brakes. Bye. I'm not interested anymore because you're making me feel like I have to dishonor myself for you or your or this job or this situation. And you really don't give two flips about me. You really don't. It's just that you want to see what you can get out of me. Mm-mm. So I learned. And now I'm a person who I care about myself. And the way that I do that is I think about what do I like? What makes me feel happy? What gives me the most joy? What helps me to be at my best and my happiest and my, you know, where I can really be uh my best self. That's what I focus on. That's where you start and you learn and grow from there. That's why I can be here today and talk to you. I would say about definitely 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, probably not five, 10 years ago, I would not, this is not the person I would have been. I wouldn't even be online. I wouldn't even be on camera. I would not have the strength, the self-esteem, the love for myself to be on camera, to do what I'm doing now. So I'm grateful that I went through those things so that I could grow and change and be not only something for someone else who could need my videos, but for me, so I can have that quality of life. So yes, while I'm out here helping you, I'm also helping myself. Make it a great day.